Greetings everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the conditional and its types. So one by one we will be discussing it in detail. Starting from the definition of the conditionals, we know that conditional tenses are used to speculate about what could happen, what might have happened, and what we wish would happen. In English, most sentences using the conditional contain the word if. Many conditional forms in English are used in sentences that include verbs in one of the past tenses. This usage is referred to as the unreal past because we use a past tense, but we are not actually referring to something that happened in the past. There are five main ways of constructing conditional sentences in English. In all the cases, these sentences are made up of an if clause and a main clause. If we look at the table over here, we can see that in the conditional sentence type 0 is there, type 1 is there, type 2, type 3, and the mixed type. While usage, if we see the zero conditional, so it is generally used for the general truths, and an if clause verb tense is simple present, while in the main clause verb tenses it's also in simple present. If we see the usage of the type 1, so we can see that a possible condition and its probable result, we can use it for, and for the if clause verb tense, it's simple present, and the main clause verb tense is in simple future. If we see the type 2, so we use it for hypothetical condition and its probable result, and the if clause is in past tense while the main clause is in present conditional or present continuous conditional. If we see the third type, so we use it for the unreal past condition and its probable result in the past. For the if clause, it is past perfect, and for the main clause, we have the perfect conditional. And for the mixed type usage, we use it for the unreal past condition and its probable result in the present. So the verb or the if clause tense would be in the past perfect and the main clause is in the present conditional. Starting from the zero conditionals, we see that the zero conditional is used for when the time being referred to is now or always and the situation is real and possible. The zero conditional is often used to refer to general truths, so that's the basic or the main indication. The tense in both parts of the sentence is the simple present, and in zero conditional sentences, the word if can usually be replaced by the word when without changing the meaning. In if clause, we can say if with simple present, and in the main clause it's simple present. For example, if this thing happens, that thing happens. If you heat ice, it melts. So if it rains, the grass get wet. So this is the example for the zero conditional. Moving towards the function of the zero conditional is used to make statements about the real world and often refers to general truths such as scientific facts. In these sentences, the time is now or always, and the situation is real and possible. Um, if you freeze water, it becomes a solid. Plants die if they don't get enough water. If my husband has a cold, I usually catch it. If public transport is efficient, public stop using their cars. If you mix red and blue, you get purple. Zero conditional sentences expresses general truth situations in which one thing always causes another. When you use zero conditional, you're talking about a general truth rather than a specific instance of something. Consider the following examples. If you don't brush your teeth, you get cavities. When people smoke cigarettes, their health suffers. Moving towards type 1 conditional, the type 1 conditional is used to refer to the present or future, where the situation is real. The type 1 conditional refers to a possible condition and its probable result. In these sentences, the if clause is in the simple present and the main clause in the simple future. For example, you can see that if clause if with simple present and main clause in simple future. If this thing happens, that thing will happen. If you don't hurry, you will miss the train, and if it rains today, you will get wet. Moving towards the condition of type 1, the type 1 conditional refers to a possible condition and its probable result. These sentences are based on facts and they are used to make statements about the real world and without particular situations. And it's about particular situation. We often use such sentences to give warnings. In type 1 conditional sentences, the time is in the present or future and the situation is real. If I have a time, I'll finish that letter. What will you do if you miss the plane? Nobody will notice if you make a mistake. If you drop that glass, it will break. If you don't drop the gun, I'll shoot. If you don't leave, I'll call the police. So over here you can see all the examples and the functions. The first conditional sentences are used to express situations in which the outcome is likely but not guaranteed to happen in the future. To the following examples. If you rest, you will feel better. If you set your mind to a goal, you will eventually achieve it. Moving towards the type 2 conditional. Type 2 conditional is used to refer to a time that is now or any time and a situation that is unreal. These sentences are not based on the fact. The type 2 conditional is used to refer to a hypothetical condition and its probable result. And in type 2 conditional sentences, the if clause uses the simple past and the main clause uses the present conditional. So you can see in the table that if this thing happened, that thing would happen, but I'm not sure that this thing will happen or that thing would be happening. So if you went to the bed earlier, you would not be so tired. If it rained, you would get wet. If I spoke Italian, I would be working in Italy. Moving towards the function, the type 2 conditional refers to an unlikely or hypothetical condition and its probable result. These sentences are not based on the actual situation. So in type 2 conditional sentences, the time is now or any time and the situation is hypothetical. Moving towards the examples, you can see that if the weather was not so bad, we would go to the park, but the weather is bad, so we can't go. So if I was the Queen of England, I would give everyone a chicken, but I'm not the queen, right? So if you really loved me, you would buy me a diamond ring. If I knew where she lived, I would go and see her. So you can see all the examples of type 2 conditional over here. And second, conditional sentences are used for expressing outcomes that are completely unrealistic or will not likely happen in the future. So consider the following examples. If I inherited $1 billion, I would travel to the moon. If I owned a zoo, I might let people interact with the animals more. So moving towards the type 3 conditional. The type 3 conditional is used to refer to a time that is in the past and a situation that is contrary to reality. The facts they are based on are the opposite of what is expressed. So the type 3 conditional is used to refer to an unreal past condition and its probable result in the past. In the type 3 conditional sentences, the if clause uses the past perfect and the main clause uses the perfect conditional. So you can see the if clause plus past perfect, and in the main clause perfect conditional or perfect continuous conditional is used. So if this thing had happened, that thing would have happened, but neither of those things really happened or the thing would have been happening. So if you had studied harder, you would have passed the exam. If it had rained, you would have gotten wet. If I had accepted the promotion, I would have been working in Milan. Moving towards the function, We can see that the type 3 conditional refers to an impossible condition in the past and its probable result in the past. These sentences are truly hypothetical and unreal because it is now too late for the condition or its result to exist. There's always some implication of regret with the type 3 conditional sentences. The reality is the opposite of or contrary to what the sentence expresses. In type 3 conditional sentences, the time is in the past and the situation is hypothetical. You can see in the examples, if I had worked harder, I would have passed the exam, but I did not work hard and I did not pass the exam. So this is unreal. So if I had known you were coming, I would have baked a cake, but I did not know and I did not bake a cake. So the information which is given and provided in the bracket, that shows that the so how unreal it is. I would, in the third example, you can see that I would have been happy if you had called me on my birthday, but the reality is, but you didn't call me and I'm not happy. Third conditional sentences are used to explain that present circumstances would be different if something different had happened in the past. Look at the following example shown below. If you had told me you needed a ride, I would have left earlier. And in the second example, you can see that if I had cleaned the house, I could have gone to the movies. In the mixed type of conditional sentences, you can see that the mixed type conditional is used to refer to a time that is in the past and a situation that is ongoing into the present. So the facts that are based on the are or the opposite of what is expressed. The mixed conditional is used to refer to an unreal past condition and its probable result in the present. In the mixed type conditional sentences, the if clause uses the past perfect and the main clause uses the present conditional. So the in if with if clause we use if with the past perfect or simple past, in the main clause present conditional or perfect conditional. So if this thing happened in the if clause, what will be there in the main clause, that thing would happen, but this thing did not happen, so that thing is not happening. So if I had worked harder at the school, I would have a better job now. If we had looked at the map, we would not be lost. If you weren't afraid of spiders, you would have picked it up and put it outside. So reading and moving towards the function of the mixed conditional, they refer us to an unreal past condition and its probable result in the present. These sentences expresses a situation which is contrary to reality both in the past and in the present. In these mixed conditional sentences, the time is in the past and if clause and in the present in the main clause. So you can see the examples below. If I had studied, I would have my driving license, but I didn't study and now I don't have my license. I would be a millionaire now, and if I had taken that job, but the reality is I didn't take a job and I'm not a millionaire. If you had spent all your money, you would not buy this jacket, but you did not spend all your money and now you can buy this jacket. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Please don't forget to watch and subscribe the YouTube channel for more updates. Thank you.